Hello and welcome to Boomer Live once again, ladies and gentlemen. Here we are to talk about Pakistan versus South Africa. The news from the center is that Pakistan have won the toss and they've chosen to bat against South Africa. Now, in a Chennai wicket like this, we do not know what the exact decision could be because the wicket looks very hard and strong and it looks like a good chasing ground as well if the dew comes later on. And South Africa will be chasing, and that is a record which they would want to change against Pakistan in World Cup. They never won a game chasing against Pakistan. They've never won an ICC tournament game since 1999 against Pakistan. So they have a lot of things to change against Pakistan. Streaks are meant to be broken, as Babar Azim has rightly mentioned, and he'd want this streak also to be broken finally. So I have Sandeep Bani with me and Jaren also with me joining. I'll get to Jaren first up. Jaren, such a big game for Pakistan, or in the context of the World Cup. If Pakistan lose today with 19 games in hand in the World Cup, we know who the top four are.
Yeah, I think if Pakistan end up losing today, especially after winning the toss, I don't know. I mean, it does seem like, you're right about the pitch. It just seems like a pitch which is going to be a little bit more easier to bat on because Chennai has been the most toughest pitch to bat on throughout this World Cup. I think the average score this year in the World Cup is 254.
Yeah.
And, but you know what? There isn't a little bit. I mean, there's a lot more grass or a little bit more grass than what was expected to be, at least when it came to the previous match. It was, I think, the New Zealand match. But yeah, ever since that, there's been a little bit more, a little bit more grass added. But yeah, I think it's going to turn, but not a vociferous turn that you expect in the second inning. So it might be a little bit easier, but interesting to see now that South Africa is chasing. How do they manage that? And Pakistan winning the toss will feel a lot better. But again, Hassan Ali not playing, he's been one of their better bowlers. And Mohammad Wasim Jr. comes in now. The question is, can he improve on his performances in the warm-up matches? That is going to be a big, big concern for Pakistan because Hassan Ali's done a pretty decent job. If you look at the Pakistan bowling lineup, he's done a pretty decent job. So Mohammad Wasim Jr. coming in now, that's going to be an interesting one. Now, Pakistan need to set a good target. I think anything about 270, 280, Pakistan will feel their bowling can do well, and especially if it moves a little bit under the lights, get a few early wickets in the second innings. Who knows? From there on, maybe South Africa, not maybe, but South Africa will surely be on the back foot if that's how
Absolutely.
things go.
Absolutely. As Kapil rightly mentioned, he's sure that South Africa is going to lose. Your thoughts on that, Satyam? You reckon South Africa are disadvantages at this point of stage because of the toss and because of the fact that Bavuma is back?
I think for the latter more than the primary reason. I mean, Babuma being back isn't the right way to go about it, according to me, because I feel Riza Hendricks was doing a fine job and Aiden Markham is a far better captain. Having said that, I think that will also play a point where South Africa will be at some point at a disadvantage because we saw how they struggled to chase 280 odd runs against a bowling lineup, which is probably not as good as Pakistan. Netherlands, they weren't able to do 280 or get the 280 runs within time. And also, I think this is the sort of pitch or conditions 250 where, like you mentioned, the average score being 254. The Pakistan batters will be more at ease and more at their own game where they can go at a strike rate of, say, a 70-80, and you have King Babar, Mohammad Rizwan in the middle, both of whom loves playing at a strike rate of 80 to 90 and then get those stats going. So I think all in all, it's a very, very crucial and good toss to win for Babar and the team. But having said that, I think it is going to be difficult to contain South Africa, especially after the form that they have. I think David Miller, Heinrich Klaasen, they are no. I mean, so chasing is not a surprise for them. Chasing is not a
Yeah.
mystery to them. They are really
Yeah.
good at chasing, especially David Miller have done it time and time again for Gujarat Titans
Quinton de
in the
Kock,
last two
let's
years.
mention him as well there.
Yeah, Quinton de Kock as well. I think Quinton de Kock has been going on a purple patch of form, 3 centuries in 5 games. But then again, with Quinton de Kock, the problem is he is really good if he gets the start, and he's really good in converting consecutive knocks. I mean, he just carries his form up into the next game. But then again, with Quinton de Kock, the problem is you can get him early on. He's a bit I mean, he's a bit tentative early on in his innings, especially against spin. So,
Yeah.
but I don't think Pakistan have quality spinners to get him with spin. So I think pace will have to work for them. I think Shaheen Shah Afridi's spell early on is going to be the make or break for Pakistan. If they that is if they can go on and post a total in excess of 260 to 270, that will at least put some pressure on South Africa, and I think then they can crumble and we'll have a wide open points table.
Absolutely. I don't think it should be wide open, but yeah, you will see some bit of changes here and
Yeah,
there to honest.
I think at least they'll have hopes. Both Pakistan, Afghanistan, and also Sri Lanka will have lots of hopes if South Africa
Yeah,
goes down today.
yeah. But yeah, Jaren, you reckon South Africa are totally gone out of the game because a lot of people are already saying social media everywhere South Africa have lost the game. You reckon it's so early to write the team off just because they're chasing, just because of their record? I think that's just ridiculous to say it so early on in the game.
I mean, uh, I understand that they did not do well against Netherlands, but you're right. You're absolutely spot on. A lot of things did not go right for them in that Netherlands game. You know, they lost wickets in clumps. Now, what are the odds that will happen again? That's a big question there. Secondly, you know, another thing that Netherlands did really well is they had a couple of, you know, I mean, not a couple, but that almost everyone bowling really well, because that's how much you needed. You need to take continuous wickets time and time again. I think they had some 3-4 wickets by the end of 15th over, and that's the reason why they were able to, really bury South Africa. But can Pakistan do the same thing? Yeah, I mean, potentially yes, they can, but it doesn't happen all the time. South Africa is still a very good batting team, and I think if you look at it right there, you will realize that this is bowling in throughout the stages, right? You'll realize that South Africa do, I mean, when you look at Pakistan, they don't do a lot of damage in any of the phases. That is, in the power play, they've only taken 4 wickets in 5 matches. In the middle overs, they've only taken 17. In the in the death overs, again, they've only taken 5 wickets. So it'll have to be a considerable 180-degree shift in Pakistan's bowling and their confidence for them to really pressurize South Africa, especially in that last 10 overs.
Absolutely, absolutely. That's a good point because they have to do something different, Pakistan for that matter, and especially when they're defending a score. You know, it's been what we have seen. Their inability to pick up wickets through the stages has really led them to lose against Afghanistan as well. But let's look at the batting performance as well, Sandeep. And, you know, if you look at the batting progression chart, Pakistan's score. If you look at South Africa and Pakistan and the batting and the power play, it doesn't make a lot of difference because they both are slow starters. But the last jump or the middle overs jump is what really makes South Africa set apart from Pakistan here.
Yeah, exactly, and I think Pakistan will have to play it smart. I mean, they have been keeping wickets in hand after the 40 over stage. If you see the comparison of the power play and the second power play, that is the second phase from 11 to 40, you'll see that they are almost similar in terms of wickets lost. But the problem is that just Pakistan team are unable to accelerate. That is because I believe that they don't have enough power hitters towards the back end. You can probably pinpoint and say that Iftikhar Ahmed is a Asif Ali sort of a player who can hit the long ball. But like Asif Ali, he's extremely inconsistent, and that has been something that we are seeing as time progresses. The more matches he plays, the more we are getting to know his vulnerabilities, the way he gets out to spin early on, the way he struggles to really clear the deep against the pacers in the back end. So I think that is going to be a huge challenge for Pakistan, to have somebody of Mohammad Rizwan's caliber to be at the other end, keep the other end consistent, or a Babar Azam who can sort of rotate the strike around, even in the back end, even towards the back end, so that the other power hitters can really come in and do the job for them. Say a Sharab Khan or a Iftikhar Ahmed really get down and attack the bowling. That is something we haven't seen from Pakistan. If you see 6.93, a run rate of 6.93 in the last 10 overs is never good with the bat. You're just scoring some 70 odd runs in the last 10 overs, even if you have around 5 wickets in hand. And that too, I mean, they lost 20 wickets in the second phase, 6 wickets in the first phase. So that's 26 in 5 games. So basically 5 wickets per game. So you have 5 wickets towards the later end, and you have a long handle. Shaheen Shah Afridi and Hassan Ali, I mean, he's not there today, but Wasim Khan Jr. and Harris Rauf, they are doing a good job in PSL, tonking the ball all around the place. But they are unable to, I mean, achieve the same feat against quality bowling. And that is a concern for them. The lower order is not at all wagging its tail.
Absolutely, absolutely. I think that's one factor which we have to talk about as well. T20 bowling in one day cricket. Jen, I think that's been their biggest issue in this World Cup. How their lengths have been all around the place. It's just not been consistent. In T20, you can bowl multiple lengths in six balls, but in one day format or as the format gets longer, you have to bowl in a consistent length for a longer period of time. And that's been their inability in this World Cup. That they've been all around the place when it comes. When you look at the mid pitch map for example, look at Harris Ruff's pitch map. He hasn't been able to land two balls in the same place for two consecutive balls. And that's been the biggest issue with him. That's one of the major reasons why he's not been able to pick up wickets, or that's one of the reasons why he's gone for plenty of runs.
Absolutely. I mean, when it comes to one day format, you are at least, I think, power play and the middle overs, you're still bowling test match line, or at least trying to bowl wicket taking lines, not being worried about being smacked around. And I think if you look at someone like Harris Ruff, I still believe he has the capability to bowl those lines. You've seen him in the past, when he's been a pot-in bowler, ball those deliveries which nip away or come back in, and some spectacular deliveries. So credit has to be given to him. I think at this point in time, he's just running away from the fact that he's getting smacked all around the park. There's no doubts about it. And at a point in time where you're trying to make sure that you're not getting hit for the next delivery, then that automatically shifts your mindset from bowling wicket-taking deliveries to just getting through the over without getting smashed, and you're bowling a lot more defensive. And the thing about bowling defensively is when the batters have enough time, right, they can keep milking you around and there's not an issue. Then you're obviously put under pressure. Then your captain comes looking for a wicket. You try too hard, and then you bowl those error deliveries which get smacked around. So I think in many ways, Harris Ruff has to try and focus on bowling getting the basics right. Just ball your back of the lane, good lane deliveries. Try and get some movement off the pitch, and I think the best idea is to just ball in those good deliveries and see. I think I remember something that Shane Warne used to say, right? Whenever he used to feel like he's not having that rhythm, what he used to do, at least as a spinner, what he used to try and do is ball six deliveries and try and turn the ball as much as possible. So that, in that situation, you not focus on line and length for the first few minutes. I know it's a little difficult to tell someone who's gone for runs, but maybe you try and ball those turns. If one delivery, for Shane Warne, what he said is, if a batter misses one delivery because of excess turn, that gives me a little bit of confidence. So I think in a very similar way, for Harris Ruff, maybe try and ball what you're really confident with. Don't look at the results, just look at the process. Because if your process is right, then the results will come.
Absolutely.
And also, I think Babar Azam will have to utilize Harris Ruff in a better manner. I mean, we have seen that Harris Ruff is traveling, especially in the first few overs, which is absolutely demolishing his confidence. So, if you have two spinners in your ranks, why not give, say, a Shadab Khan, who is also out of form, a chance in the power play? Just get him in, or say a Usama Mir, take a gamble against a Quinton de Kock. Because I feel if you bring in Harris Ruff as the first change bowler,
Sandhimani, I think more than Shadab Khan, I think a better candidate will be Mohammad Nawaz. And I feel the reason for that is, I think Mohammad Nawaz has a little bit more accuracy. Shadab's bigger issue has been that he's been bowling either too much drag down or too much of a full toss.
Yeah, Mohammad Nawaz is a very decent.
I think Mohammad Nawaz's entry point will so much depend on whether Quinton de Kock is batting or not. If Quinton de Kock is still at the crease, I don't see Mohammad Nawaz bowling in the power play, nor is he going to bowl anytime in the middle overs until unless Quinton de Kock is dismissed.
Especially with Babar the way he is.
Yes, exactly. He's going to bring Iftikhar rather than Nawaz in that stage because he'd know.
So that is my problem with Babar's captaincy, right? Because he's just taking the matchups too seriously, and then he's bringing on bowlers who are going for runs.
Matchups seriously, to be honest, Sandeep. If he was taking matchups seriously, you'd have had a better cricketing brain to bring in right ballers in the right entry points. He's not taking matchups.
That is what he's lacking. I think there is something wrong with the Pakistani analysts or something.
There was this ad which you go on YouTube: left arm ball to left hand batter, bad idea. He's just gone in with that. He doesn't look into what are the ways in which you can possibly
Abel Sandhimani, I think how it works with Babar at this point in time is, or the Pakistan management at this point in time, is there are two options, A and B, and B is the worst option. Somehow they'll end up at B, regardless of the thought process.
Yeah, because I think they are not employed, especially Babar. I think he'll have to be at his best in terms of captaincy and the change of bowlings. We saw in the Netherlands versus South Africa game, Scott Edwards was very proactive. He was putting on attacking fields after 44 for 4. South Africa were 44 for 4. He was applying the pressure. Royal of Van der Merwe came in, no matter, I mean, who was batting just after Quinton de Kock was dismissed. Van der Merwe came in the power play itself. You had Aryan Datta bowling a tight spell in the power play. Why not get Iftikhar Ahmed a stint in the power play itself? Because you are seeing your first change bowler Haris Rauf just coming in and traveling all across the park, and I think it is doing a lot of harm to his confidence. So he's not able to come in towards the later end when the field is spread out, and then he can ball his bouncers short of a good length delivery, and that will be more effective than what he's trying out in the power play. We saw what happened to Umran Malik when he came back in the power play
for the death overs, because in the last two matches what you saw was Haris Rauf was coming into ball in the power play, which was not doing him any good. With the field in, I think batters are looking to release pressure in that particular over. He went for 17 in the last game, 24 in the game before that.
Yeah, just a factoid in the power plays. He's been the most expensive Pakistani bowler, traveling at 11 runs per over in just 6 overs. And on the other hand, I think Iftikhar has bowled one match. He bowled for 2 overs. I can't really recollect which match is it is, but he's also travelled. However, Mohammad Nawaz, again 2 overs. He's done well, 7 runs per over. But as Abel rightly mentioned, and I think it's probably throwing him into the lion's den if Quinton de Kock is still batting.
And I think today there is a chance that Haris Rauf might open the bowling with no
Hassan Ali, yes, absolutely.
Yeah, and also Mohammad Wasim Jr. is a I think he's a good call in the setup, especially. I mean, well, Hassan Ali was bowling well, but I think he's a better shout out in the middle overs with the pace and the change of pace. I think if he just uses his brain a little bit more and not just focus on bowling at 145, 150, and just go for the variations, I think he'll be a more effective bowler in today's conditions. So I'm not really unhappy with the change that they have brought, because Hassan Ali was effective.
Well, one factor, Sandeep Bani.
Yeah, sorry.
He will go ahead. He will.
I think your voice is breaking slightly. I mean, you're okay now.
No, he was audible. Go ahead.
Yeah. I think I just lost Sandeep Bani for a second.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
So I was just saying that
even with us and with Mohammad Wasim Jr. as well. Go ahead.
With Mohammad Wasim Jr., the point is he'll give you those middle overs. Yeah, I think Abel is the one facing some sort of lag. Yeah. So I think Mohammad Wasim Jr. With Mohammad Wasim Jr., the point is that you'll have that middle overs confidence where he can give you wickets in the middle overs, and that is something Hassan Ali was not doing at all. I think he was coming in the second spell and bowling better, but he was absolutely applying zero pressure in the first power play, and that is where Pakistan was absolutely losing the plot, because Shaheen Shah Afridi was bowling well, sometimes being economical. Going at 14 or 15 runs in 3-4 overs is still a decent job, rather than going at more than 6 runs per over, which Hassan Ali was doing consistently. So I think getting in Haris Rauf or Mohammad Wasim Jr. in the power play along with Shaheen Shah Afridi to see how they go about with the new ball is going to be interesting to see. Haris Rauf is, I don't think he's a new ball bowler, but I think the way things are going for Haris Rauf, I think he'll take anything.
He never was a new ball bowler for Pakistan, right? Babar had to employ him only because Naseem Shah was not there. Naseem Shah was their go-to new ball bowler along with Shaheen. And I also feel somewhere Naseem not being part of the team has really made it tough for Shaheen as well, because, people were a little wary against Shaheen, but now they just feel like, from both the ends they can go after the bowling, especially after Haris Rauf. And Haris Rauf was always at first change bowler, but then Hassan Ali's done a decent job, but I think that's the reason why Haris Rauf has had to bowl. Because if you look at it, in the middle over, in the power play as well now, he has travelled for a lot of runs. Now, can you really trust Mohammad Wasim Jr.? I think you can. He's done well in the power play. If you look at his average, if you look at his economy rate, he's done decently well. I think he swings the ball a lot as well. And not a lot, but just enough to get those edges to trouble the ball.
And also, I think he has the pace as well along with the swing.
Yeah, his pace is not the greatest, but he can trouble the batters on his day.
Yeah.
That's going to be interesting.
And also, I think Shaheen Shah Afridi has not been the most potent bowler in the power plays. He has not been a Trent Bolt or say a Matt Henry, which we expected him to be in this tournament. He has picked up wickets, but that has predominantly been in the second spell or the third spell, where he's bowling those cutters, where he's bowling a good length delivery and asking the batsman to go after him. The problem is that he has not been... he has not got the support from the other end in the power play to put enough pressure on the batsman. The batsmen are just playing him out, and more often than not, he has been erring in lines as well. It's not just Hassan Ali who was erring in line, but I feel Shaheen Shah Afridi was not bowling to the fullest of his potential in the power plays.
Abel Babar का कुछ ना बोला कर. He's a king, bro. He's a Bobby Badshaह. Bobsy है ना? Bobsy तो कर लेगा.
And I think today Babar Badshah has a perfect pitch to get another 60 or 70 runs of some 80, 90
I think
deliveries
today's
to put
pitch
Pakistan to the
could
score.
be the one that Babar likes. I think Babar is a lot better in these kind of pitches than a flat track.
It
Because
depends on a lot of factors as well today. If
you know,
there's going to be a
yeah,
lot of wickets going to be lost on one end, it's not about Babar getting in. Babar always wants support from the other end as well.
yeah,
Babar can be put into halt. A lot of times you have seen, if you watch Babar's innings, he always wants a partner in the other end which supports him, and
absolutely.
he gets his innings on like that. I don't think
And that is the
Babar's a
problem,
I
Jaren.
mean, yeah.
Him not performing well in flat tracks is not the problem. Him performing well in flat tracks at a slow strike rate is the main problem for
No,
Pakistan.
I think Sandipani Abel is right in this. Why does Mohammad Rizwan and Babar do really well? Is because Rizwan is the one
Yeah,
who takes the risks. Rizwan
yeah.
is the
It's
one who
always
gets the
been that
target
case.
scoring
It's always
options,
been that
and
case. Babar has never
Babar
taken
just
the
rotates
mantle
his
up.
strike, goes about he's in his own bubble, and at this
Yeah,
point in time, that's a big issue with him. I think that's also the reason why his captaincy is well, right? He's a great captain when the team is doing well, and that's not a taunt. That's an absolute truth. If his team is doing well, if their team is on top, Babar is one who can really squeeze the opposition. We've seen him do
yeah,
that.
absolutely.
His biggest issue is he's not really good when it comes to the opposition being in control. He's not really good at bringing his team back using
I
tactics.
think
Then it has to
Babar
be
and
someone who gets
Rizwan
the
are
ball
the
directly.
next partnership that we have to look out for, like Kohli and Rohit Sharma. I think Rizwan is a Rohit Sharma sort of a player. He's the next Rohit Sharma, and Babar Azam is already the new Kohli.
Yeah, possibly. Uh, I hope the world does believe isn't that kind of mindset as well. Accepts that Babar and Rizwan are the next two big things. If they weren't already, I thought they already are better than Rohit and Virat. But thanks for reassuring that they aren't. But
No,
that's
I
very
think they don't have
disappointing.
5 double century partnerships in ODIs. I think when they do
They don't
that, I
have
think they'll
to.
be
They
the
don't need
best.
double century partnerships. कितना ICC
I think that's
trophy है?
because of
बाबर के
BCCI.
पास बाबर has more ICC trophies than Rohit Sharma. So that's what I'm trying to say. Either way, let's just talk about what we have to, especially when it comes to the matchups today. I think Imam versus Jansen's going to be an interesting one because Imam Ulak has had his struggles with bouncers, and I think again Jansen, Kudze, or for the matter Lungi and Giri will look to bounce him out in one end, and on the other end. Abdullah Shafiq, if he gets out and if Rizwan and Babar are put in a power play to bat together, it's a different Pakistan we're talking about. As Azil also mentioned, he has a feeling that Pakistan might collapse in the 200. We don't know what Pakistan is going to turn up. There's a Pakistan which can possibly collapse for 200, but that is also a major factor in today's game because a lot has happened in the media in Pakistan Cricket Board over the last 24
Yeah,
hours. Let's be honest, Pakistan Cricket Board has thrown Babar under the head. I'm not the one Aisha who's been talking. Your own board has really told that Babar Azam will be given will be taking all responsibility and they'll take the decision for the best interest of Pakistan Cricket Board and Pakistan Cricket team. And they've thrown Babar and Inzamam Ulaq under the bus already with
yeah.
releasing that statement
Pretty
24
much
hours
the
before.
political cricket board way to go.
Absolutely. So that certainly
I
means
think
one
it's so
thing.
sad from
Babar is going to
Inzamamul
be under
Haq's point
pressure.
of view because just because his nephew is such a poor cricketer against short deliveries, I think you're just going after him.
No, he's the one who selected the team. So I think it's fair that he also gets the brunt of things. But you didn't have to release a statement 24 hours before the game. So that is what it is. Babar
But
Azam
Abel,
or
my question
Inzamam
is, do
Ulaq
you have
will
a better
start.
opening batsman for Pakistan than
Yeah, I
Imamul
mean,
Haq?
They had
I
a
don't
Fakhar
understand all
Zaman.
the hate.
Obviously, when there's a
I don't
Fakhar
Fakhar
Zaman,
Zaman
why
is
would you
not a
want
better
to?
batsman. I mean,
You're
I don't
telling me
understand
Fakhar
all the
Zaman
hate
is not
he's
better than
getting,
Imam Ullah? Who's a better match winner?
no.
Obviously, it is Fakhar
No,
Zaman.
guys, I
There's
don't
no way you
understand
can say
why
Imam Ullah
why
is a
the
better
hate.
match winner than Fakhar Zaman.
Imam has scored 157. He's the third highest run getter for this World Cup.
Absolutely.
I don't understand the hate. I mean,
Yeah,
he's
I
Come
agree.
he's
on,
done
man.
Imamul Haq
well
is
in
definitely better than
patches.
Fakhar Zaman, somebody who has really struggled in the
Yeah,
past. I think Fakhar Zaman is an X-factor player, but I think Imamul Haq
I
has that
you know
consistency.
Who's going to win
sometimes
your games at the end of the day? Is it going to
no
be
one.
Imam's 80 strike rate knocks, or is it going to be Fakhar Zaman who can possibly change it? And Fakhar Zaman's
But
record
Abel,
against South
that's the
Africa
thing
is
about.
tremendous.
But that's the thing about
I
this
think I'll
now,
just
right? You have
drop.
an option between
I'll be
Fakhar
back
Zaman who
for
will win
the
you
post
one
match.
in. You have option between Fakhar Zaman who will win you 1 in 10 games, and you have and your other option is Imamul Hulk. I'm sorry,
Hulk.
Imamul Haq, who will. I mean, he's a Bruce Banner version of Hulk, but yeah, Imamul
Yeah.
Haq, who will probably contribute 20% every 10 matches, and probably his contributions will add up to one whole match. It's a bad place to be at this point in time, but both these guys they've had their ups and downs. I think
I
if you
personally
look at
think
the
it's
Pakistan,
just nonsensical selection to have Imam Ullah persisted over a Fakar Zaman, and I think Fakar
no,
Zaman
I
is a
think
bigger
with me,
match.
right, Nikhil, I think there's some credit to that argument that him wearing specs
He scores runs.
does.
Okay, I don't believe in all this nonsense stuff,
No, no,
but
I'll be
let's
honest.
be
Here's the
honest.
thing, right?
He
I've
scored
played
runs.
cricket
He
wearing
scored
specs.
runs for who? For his own sake. He has scored runs.
Yeah,
He will
that's
score
right.
50 of 70 balls, 50 of
Yeah,
65
yeah, yeah.
balls for his own sake, and look good on the stats. That's exactly why
But
Pakistan have been. All these journalists in Pakistan have really gone mad. You know why? I feel Pakistan has deserved this kind of hate because for till 2 months ago, everybody, all of these people,
yeah,
made them feel like they're the best team on the planet Earth. The best team on the planet
yeah,
Earth. Imam Ullah is the greatest
yeah.
batter. Babar Azam is the greatest batter. Whatever said and done. 2 months later, where are they standing right now is the reality of what they are. And that's a fact. I mean, you can talk about anything and everything in the world, but ultimately, what you have to do is can you perform in the big games? Are you winning games at the right time? They're not. Their scoring run stats look very good. ICC rankings, stats, top 10 batters. That's what they were concerned about. That's still what they're concerned about. And that's not a good place to be if you're playing a tournament.
But yeah, even here's the thing though. The interesting thing about it is, if you look at Imam's this World Cup, right? Only in this World Cup, the last 5 matches I'm talking about, he's still, yeah, I mean, Aisha, that's what I said. He's like more like the Bruce Banner version before he turns into Hulk. Pretty much looks like that. But yeah, my point being, Imam is still scored at 92 able in the World Cup. Babar is the one who's scoring at 80. He scored 157 for you. So I think if you really have to point out, if you really are pointing out Imam as your problem, then you have to also realize that no one is really playing above 100 strike rate. In the whole Pakistan team, there are only two players who are playing batting above 100 strike rate. That's Shakil at 101 and Iftikhar Ahmed at 140. Nobody else plays at 100 per strike rate. And compare that to the likes of South Africa. The only ones who are not playing above 100 strike rate is Van der Dussen, Bahuma, and Coetzee and
Yeah.
Lungi and Gedi. Everyone else is batting at 100 strike rate. Even their bowlers are batting above 100. Keshav
Yeah.
Maharaj has a better strike rate than everyone in Pakistan team except for Iftikhar Ahmed. So I think
Absolutely.
it's not really a batting, it's not really Imam, it's not really one player, it's the mindset of the team. They're not ready to attack. If no one is batting above 100 strike rate, you can't blame one player. And I just feel you're at this point in time, hate is going to one player when the whole system is playing a particular way.
True that. True that. I agree with you totally. I think that's about it from us today. The match has already begun, so we are gonna end the live right here. We'll be joining you right after the game for the post match. And thank you all for joining once again. It was a pleasure taking all your questions, and hopefully we have a good game in our hands after having so many one-sided games. At least this is going to be an exciting one. Thank you once again. See you all very soon. Bye bye.
Bye bye, guys.